While many intelligent men going their own way have inspired and educated their peers, one constant heartbreaking disappointment is that many times when we offer the red pill to our brothers it's too late. They've already been married, gotten divorced, lost everything, and are having their eyes opened after the damage. It helps these people to reflect on where they went wrong and how they went wrong and how to avoid history repeating itself. After all, there are no shortage of broken men, drowning themselves in alcohol, after a divorce, asking themselves, where did I go wrong? Was I really that bad? Maybe it's true. Maybe I am an unfit parent. Why else would the woman that once loved me with all her heart and soul claim I was a bad and reckless parent? Why would the judge agree? Maybe I was a rotten father and a rotten husband. If any woman should ever approve of my sorry ass, I'll make it right with her. And then finds himself in the same situation 6 years later. It's a pattern I have seen too many times. Reaching these men is important. And then you have the married man who begins to observe the dangerous patterns of behavior found in feminism, and slowly starts to figure out. This goes beyond a simple ideology, and then while arguing against feminism, discovers us, receives the red pill, and gets how this whole thing works. But he's already locked into a marriage. All he can do is continue to hope that his relationship with his wife is a happy relationship, and that his marriage lasts. It is refreshing when we are able to reach young men, educate them with our philosophy, give them that metaphorical red pill. A young man armed with the knowledge of our gynocentric nature can avoid all the pitfalls that others don't. He won't get suckered by a girl in high school. He won't make the mistake of marriage. He won't base his personal identity on being the man girls claim to want. He'll live for himself. He won't act the way girls claim they want. He'll act in the way that feels right for him. He won't engage in activities and take up hobbies and buy things with purpose of I bet chicks will really dig me if I do this. He won't buy all the smelly aftershaves because the commercials swore to him the reason he ain't getting laid is because he's not wearing their magical elixir. He won't get torn between being a hyper-masculine male, and being a sensitive sissy boy, all due to the gender war going on right now, and women's capricious wants. His masculinity will be true, because it will be his true masculine nature that he is exercising, not women's expectations or critiques of it. This is why it is important that our philosophy reaches the young. Many of us were raised without a true father, or raised with very little exposure to our biological fathers, and we learned, and we grew, and we matured, though for many of us it was a rough path to maturity, and for others still it was merely a delayed path to maturity. There are young men today, many of them without fathers. I think the bulk of good that the online MGTOW can do, is to act in a fatherly way to the young men who are surfing this amazing thing called the internet, looking for guidance, looking for answers, trying to discover themselves. If we can reach them with our knowledge we can, as a community, act as mentors, sharing our wisdom with the young, helping to awaken them to the reality of men and women, and they will learn from our wisdom, and adapt their own thoughts and experiences over time, so that they will be, by the time they are our age, even better educated on MGTOW than we are today. This is how our philosophy will grow and mature, by the young learning from us, and then eventually exceeding us, and handing their wisdom down onto the younger generation. The reason I bring this up is because I have recently become aware of a MGTOW by the name of George Freeman, who is only 14 years old, and already gets it. He identifies as MGTOW, and understands it. I want to give you an example of his work.
What's up guys, my name is George Freeman. Anyway, today I would like to talk about something that's been interesting to me for a while. So, there were these girls at my school and they had a meme, and then they were laughing about it because it said, you know, women try harder at selfies than men. And I thought about it for a second, and it's like, it's because women want to look more beautiful. It's, in all fairness, men want to have better work. They want to work harder to get more money to please women, and women want to look better. I care about what makes me happy, so I think as a MGTOW, I've kind of gotten past that. But it seems like these women, they never get past it. I also think women want to do the same thing. They don't want men to think about, oh, it's because they like men, or they like women. It's part of sexuality and human nature. I think they want to think about, they want us to think about it as it's something women do for themselves, which I feel like it couldn't be further from the truth.
An interesting observation. Men and women both going out of their way for each other for mate selection, and women naturally denying this to themselves, to men, to their fellow female, this great delusion of I do it for me. And here is a quick summary of his video, The Difference Between MGTOW and MRA.
Hello, my name is George Freeman, and today I wanted to talk about the difference between a man going his own way and a men's rights activist. So the first difference I wanted to point out is a men's rights activist is an activist for change, an activist for the way that women view men in society and the way laws view men in society. So, for instance, the divorce courts would be a men's rights activist issue, when a MGTOW would never get married, so it doesn't affect him.
He also goes on to point out that in many respects MRA and MGTOW are two different reactions to the same problem, different method of dealing with the problem, and then he goes on to show he understands the value of the MGTOW philosophy, how it transcends the political, and is about non-gynocentric personal growth.
I think that Not Sure was right when he said Hakuna Matata was the right mentality that men should take on in their everyday lives. Men should just stop caring what women think of them and start caring what they think of themselves in their everyday lives to improve themselves, not based off what women want, but based off of what they want to do.
It is wonderful that our philosophy is reaching our youth and helping to enlighten them, and that they are taking an active interest in sharing their own experiences and interpretations with others. It warms my heart that our philosophy has reached the ears of so many, and now our boys are beginning to awaken to the reality that a life lived as a shell of a man, always trying to gain favor with women, and jump through their hoops for approval, is a waste of time. Living for yourself, forging your own identity, being your own man, and not some sacrificial lamb for the gynocentric machine, is a more appealing and prosperous lifestyle. How many of us went all throughout middle school and high school without getting laid, or even without ever getting a steady date, but put ourselves through hell, constantly seeking out female approval, and then looking down on ourselves for not measuring up and earning their almighty approval, while all of our guy friends bragged about the women they never actually fucked, which only made us feel like there was something wrong with us, and then we too put on the great charade of how many women we fucked and so on, to mask our shame, a shame we as boys and young men should never have had. Imagine a future where more youth drop out of the game, with greater frequency. Imagine how good this will be for the girls and young women to learn at an early age that men are not going to act as pussy beggars throwing themselves at her, and defining his worth by her approval. I can only imagine this would help to scale back on a lot of female narcissism, early on in life, and help break the vicious cycle of men basing their worth on what women think of them. I said a few videos back, that I do not write what I do for the old men of today, but for the young men of tomorrow. I think about the youth such as George, and envy the possibility that with the changing climate in gender relations, he may live long enough to witness a strong and meaningful change in his lifetime. At any rate, I will link his channel. His videos are short, condensed, gets straight to the point, and I encourage you to check them out.